Hello YouTube friends, welcome to the Red Parrot channel. I am your host, Mary Ellen. This is another episode of Craft With Me Christmas edition or holiday edition. So when we last left off, I was making, I need to get rid of this first, temporarily, these little pockets. Do I have one? I do. So I was making these, and I have finished making them. So there's 23 there. There's one more here, 24. Absolutely obsessed with these as things to make. They are absolutely fantastic. So where did I get to here? I got to all of the folding. I haven't done any of the gluing. So one of the things that we need to do is glue. So here is my current problem. Exhibit A, quality street box. I happen to have opened it, and having a box of chocolate like this opened is a danger. For obvious reasons, that is, I will eat what is in box. I've already had a couple of snackaroos. So we need to get this parceled up. Otherwise, we're going to have to go buy another one. And I would rather not to have eaten an entire box of Quality Street. And if you think that isn't real, welcome to Real Talk Mental Health Edition. So let us glue. And while we are gluing, what do we want to do? So one of the things I need to think about is I need to number them, and I need to find some way of being able to arrange them. So I'm either going to glue them on something, which I kind of don't want to do. I would really love it if I could punch a hole, fill it, and then somehow hang them. I think that would be awesome, but I haven't thought that far ahead yet. So we are now going to be producing some of this. Oh, hang on. I got to put you on hold for a second. Back. Christine and I, Christine has the website Chronically Crafting Christine. We have a shared trouble, and that is I never know what to talk about. And so let me log onto the internet and onto the Google machine. And so there is random conversation generator, and I go to Learn Hip, random conversations. Press start to begin. You have to flip through that because that's not actually where the begin is. And then you hit start. Yeah. And then you get a random topic. And if you finished answering it, you can hit the next one. Or if you don't like it, and sometimes they give me things that I just think are, I'm not going to talk about, you can flip to the next card. So the question is, who is a singer that you like? Singing is not really my thing. Is that the end of that conversation? The other thing, Christine, that I do is I will argue with the validity of the question as a conversation starter, because sometimes they will just ask a yes or no question, which does not lead to a conversation. It leads to a yes, and then what? So, singer that I like. I'm not much in the way of interested in singer songs. Do I like a voice? Oh, so here's one thing I like. I like an alto, and I like an alto because I'm an alto. So if there's singers that are 1,000 octaves way up there, it's like, I can't sing any of your music because I'm an alto. So that's one thing. I like peppy music, whatever that is. I like theater music. We still have not got to a singer yet. I might be wending my happy way towards that. A singer that I like. Who do I like listening to sing? Like, I don't even listen to sung music. It might make me weird, I'm not sure. This is what I need to do. And then this flap, this flap. Oh, schnabba-schna! It's not what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm just supposed to be doing that. Somebody was yelling at me. I'm certain of it. Ooh. Ah. Boo. All right. Well, at least I did it on number 1 and realized it on number 2. As opposed to going and figuring it on number 23. Okay, so I am almost certain that I don't have a singer. Next card. What did you used to do at break time at school? Well, that totally depends. Depends on what grade. Do we have breaks? I guess recess. Maybe that's what they're talking about. What did you do at recess? I don't know. So a lot of it was outside activity, just faffing around for however long till the bell rang. Okay, next next question. I'm not going to answer that question. How would you feel if the internet stopped working? Huh. That's an interesting question. How would I feel? Well, part of me would feel liberated. I'd probably be really bored and kind of like a lab rat that kept pressing a button looking for food and not getting any food and then being sad about it, because I think what the internet is a dopamine hit. And I think that's part of like having a cell phone, part of that issue. I'd get back free time, for sure. I would be super sad to lose all of the people that I know. I would be super sad to lose access to information. I think answers would vary depending on when you were born, because I was born pre-internet, and so it's like, okay, we'll just go back to the way it was. And that's a different reaction, I think, than some of my coworkers who at one point, we were planning something. I can't remember what we were planning, some kind of picnic or whatever. In any event, there was an issue about phones, and one of the youngerlies said, "Oh my God, who's gonna do anything without the phone?" And I said, well, I spent the first, like, I don't know, 30 years with a phone. And they just all looked at me, and it was just like, I don't mean to be rude, but it just was very upsetting for everybody. Like, oh, well, you're just old, but we don't want to say that out loud. Okay, I think I've answered that question. Next question. These are weird questions. I'm not going to answer this because I don't have any thoughts on the matter. What do you think of nuclear power? What was the last film you saw? Ooh. What was the last film that I saw? So I'm going to answer that as film in the theater film. In the theater film. What would I have seen last? I know the theater I would have gone to, and I know who would I've gone with. What would that movie have been? It was some time ago. Oh, it was probably an adventure film. I'm going to say it was one of the adventure films. The more recent ones, when sort of like the wrap-up of the current version of Robert Downey Jr., that cast and crew. That's the last film I think I saw. I don't go to a lot of films. Did you get pocket money when you were a child? I probably did, because I can remember spending, I can remember spending money on candy, and I must have gotten the money from somewhere. I was born and raised in Montreal, Canada, Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And where we shopped, there was a Danish bakery. And that Danish bakery also sold, like, not penny candy, but very inexpensive candy. And it also sold Danish pastry. And it used to sell, and my mom would get them from time to time, when the spirit moved her and the season was right, strawberry custard tarts. And they were the most divine strawberry tarts ever, in my humble estimation. And every single time that I have had a strawberry tart since, that did not come from that Danish bakery, I have been woefully disappointed in the inferior quality of said pastry. It was just so good. Can you remember being shocked by a television program? No. Depends on what you mean by shocked. So, yes. I'm going to change my answer. Yes. If any of you have ever seen the Canadian TV show Orphan Black, the way I have described it to other people that I have said, oh, you totally need to see this to watch, I would say, you know how sometimes TV shows take, oh, it's like 2 or 3 episodes before you really get into it? My explanation for this show is the first 6 minutes are free, then something happens, and it doesn't stop until the end of the run. It is regularly a breathless watch and an absolute tour de force by the main actress. I think her name is Tanya Maslany or something. She won I think an Emmy. Okay, we're just blowing through these questions. I wonder how big this database is. I'm not going to answer that question. I'm not going to answer that question. What film have you seen the most times? Huh. Let's see. What film have I seen the most times? Okay, contenders. Sound of Music. Gone with the Wind. Casablanca. The Wizard of Oz. Trying to think of any other movies that I've seen multiple times. Probably seen a couple of Muppet movies multiple times. What's the, A Christmas Carol? What else have I seen multiple times? I've probably seen Raiders of the Lost Ark. I've probably seen the Avenger movies multiple times. I've seen Star Wars multiple times. What else have I seen multiple times? Weirdly Dark Victory. I think I might have just been on that airing schedule. Did I say My Fair Lady? My Fair Lady. Yankee Doodle Dandy. A lot of classic musicals like Oklahoma, Music Man, which film have you seen the most times? So that's the ones that I've seen a lot of times. I'm going to say Sound of Music, because it's a Christmas. Sound of Music or My Fair Lady. Singing in the Rain. I've seen that a gazillion times. Oops. But I'm going to say probably My Fair Lady. My Fair Lady or Sound of Music. Hard to tell. So that's my answer. See, like, that's not a conversation. That is a, what is the number? And unless you take the initiative and go through the exercise of explaining it, you don't actually have a conversation. Which is kind of hard because it's going to be a one-sided conversation. Anyways, next question. Have you ever got lost on holiday? No? No. Huh. What do you think is the most important invention in your lifetime? Huh. The most important. Well, what does important mean? My first thought is to say the internet, and I don't want to say the internet because there's certainly going to be something more important than the internet. But I don't know what that is off the top of my head. Most important invention? Invention. Cell phone technology? Is there a medicine? Microcomputing? Like, I don't have access to a lot of industry information that would say, oh, but in the, such and such industry, XYZ revolutionized the way we eat, we produce food, or something along those lines. I'm going to say microprocessing, assuming that that is leading to phones and just a completely different way of delivering information without having access to any other information. Do you sometimes reread your favorite books? Now I got to think about books that I've reread. I might only have reread one. No, that can't be true. So I probably have reread Anne of Green Gables at least 5 times. And every single time the thing happens with Matthew, I bawl my freaking eyes out. I don't care what age I am. Spoilers. But I tried not to be spoily. Have I reread anything else? Like, I read a lot of nonfiction, and there's no real, it's not like it's a story like Anne is. Okay. Just squishing the middle because this, the little flap on the back popped up, and I want to make sure that they all sort of stick down. Okay. Have you ever been, or would you like to go on a cruise? No. What's your least favorite type of weather? Well, that's a good one. What is my least favorite type of weather? I'm going to say suffocating heat. Like, they gotta ask the question, and why? Because otherwise it's like, well, okay, that's the answer, but can you elaborate? Most of the essay marks are for your rationale, not your actual opinion on the matter. Okay, so I said insufferable heat. Why? Why? Why do I hate heat so much? Because it seems to be the only weather where I cease to be able to function. So I can, I'm not made of sugar. I don't mind rain. I don't mind wind. I don't mind snow. I don't mind ice. I don't mind temperate. There's a lot that I don't mind. Having said that, I do not live in storm country. So I suspect that if I lived in storm country, whatever storm type was common in my area would probably be the thing that I would like least. But I'm going to say just that ridiculous heat. In southern Ontario, humidity is a thing, and it can be crippling and also very, very unhealthy. Oh, what are you having for dinner tonight? What did I have for dinner tonight? I can't remember. How often do you go to the cinema? Cinema. Not very often. Ooh, if it was possible to travel in time, which time period would you like to visit? Huh. I would love to visit Egypt in the 1920s. I would love to ride the Orient Express. Is there any other thing that I would like to do? Egyptology exploration interests me, and the whole notion of archaeology interests me. So if there is other times and places where archaeology was the hot thing to be, I would love to be there as well. Which sportsmen and sportswomen do you admire? Who do I admire? Well, the first name that jumps to mind is Hayley Wickenheiser. Hayley Wickenheiser is a former Canadian women's hockey player, an Olympian, all that in a bag of nuts. And once she was done her hockey career, she became a physician. Because, sure. And she now currently works, I think, as some kind of associate something or other for the Toronto Maple Leafs. But to have an illustrious career and then become a physician and then give back to the sport, I think is pretty amazing. Is there anybody else? There is a South American runner. I don't know what her name is, but I know her story. And that is, she runs in a dress and sandals. And she comes from an indigenous area. And as with many indigenous groups that try to do something and sort of shock their way into modern society. Modern society said, well, you need the right shoes and you need the right equipment and blah, blah, blah. And apparently she doesn't, because she's really good at running. And I think she has just sort of made a name for herself, and she's never lost the connection to her indigenous heritage, which I think is pretty great. So that's two. We might have to stop the speeches for a minute because I got to figure out what I'm going to do next. So these all need folding in, and then we will have all of those. Okay. Is there any male athletes that I admire? Not really. Sorry, guys. I'm sure there is, but that's enough. Do you have a junk drawer? What's in it? Do I have a drawer? I don't have just one drawer. I have stuff, like just stuff in it. Bits and pieces and tchotchkes and chattel and things that don't have anywhere else to go. Half pencils and stub candles and one die and a piece of string rolled up very specifically, but of origins unknown. Pins and needles and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. What would you like to be famous for? Well, I don't really want to be famous. Start there. But if I was famous for something, what would I like to be famous for? Again, we don't have enough parameters here. Like, are we talking world peace? Are we talking eradicating hunger, eradicating disease, saving the planet, restoring justice? All of that. That's what I want to be famous for. Do you ever gamble on sporting events? No. I'm not going to answer that question. What's your favorite restaurant? That's a really good question. Swiss Chalet? It's a chicken place. I like to go to places where I am going to get what I know I'm going to get. You know what I mean? I do not want to go to a restaurant and be surprised. I want to go to a restaurant and get the thing that I expect to get. And that is what I get when I go to Swiss Chalet. And it is also really yummy. Another place that I like to go, and I go maybe once every 5 years, is Words gone. What's the name of the restaurant? The Old Spaghetti Factory. It is a very specific restaurant. It's very specific. Of course, it's a specific restaurant. It's an attraction as much as anything in Toronto. And the attraction is inside the restaurant. The decor is pretty amazing, including having a carousel that is in the middle of the restaurant. And the thing that I love about that is that you can pay a ridiculous amount of money for spaghetti, because how expensive is spaghetti going to be? But you can get spumoni ice cream for dessert. And frankly, I could just skip the spaghetti even and just have spumoni ice cream. 3 orders of it, please. Keep it coming. Not much of a restaurant goer to her. Sorry, this question just made me laugh out loud. How healthy is your diet? It is as healthy as a mental health patient can possibly be given my set of circumstances. Ooh, when did you last talk on the telephone? You mean a landline? Or on the actual telephone? Like a cell phone? When was the last time I talked on a landline? Golly, that's a good question. Last time, I do not know. Well, clearly it's got to be years. I don't know the answer to that at all. Next question. Do you like going to zoos? Well, I've only ever been to one, I think, one or two. The one that's air quotes closest, the one that's in the Greater Toronto area, is the Toronto Zoo. It's okay. Okay, so I need something. I'm going to take this dark one because I want that side. Is there anything else that's nice? Pink? Oh, maybe the pink. I don't know, but we're gonna do this one first. Yeah? Yeah. So I need to punch out 24 holes. I mean, I'm not a super big fan of zoos. I mean, they're kind of sad. Next question. Do you play any sports? No. What's the most advanced piece of technology that you own? Hang on, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I don't know the answer to that either. I feel like I should say cell phone. Cell phone? How romantic are you? Not very. What's the best concert you've been to? Can't remember. Have you ever eaten in a very expensive restaurant? I have. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, spares, 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 spares. Okay. I have been to Michelin star restaurant. It was for one of my friend's birthdays. It was fine. It was fine. That's, I think, all I can say. Okay, now then, I've got to turn all these this way, and I need some number punchy things. So my thought is that I am going to take this, and I'm either going to use it like this, or I'm going to have a slightly larger circle, and then sort of do like a 2-layer. Okay, but I gotta do numbers now. If I gotta do numbers, I can't answer questions. Last round. How has your taste in food changed over time? I don't know. These are weird questions. What am I doing? I'm going over here because I need a stamp. Hoping these are numbers. They are not numbers. Boo! Thought they were going to be tiny little numbers. I can't do that. So I'm going to have to put you in hold for a second. So I found the numbers, but they weren't the numbers that I started to look for. And now I wonder where those original ones are. I'm sure they're somewhere. Well, not to worry. Okay, now I had a thought about what color I wanted. And I think this fuchsia pink would be fun. So let's see. Will these fit? If I do like 28, I'm gonna guess not. I do need those little ones. Boo! Boo, 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 boo. Boo! Nope. Nope. Oh, look at you. Nope. Nope. Well, 22, so the 20s. 20. Need to put these in order. Oh, 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? That's 7, that looks like an upside down L. But okay. 6, 7, 8. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, this should be 5. Yay! 6, 7, 8, 9. So let's do print 24. It's got to be the biggest number. That's why we printed extra. Yeah, that's not going to fit. But let's see if... Oh, that's all right. Sure. 20, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to do a lot of 2s. 20, 1, 2, 3, yeah. 2, 2, 2, 2, 0, 1, 2. Oh! One, 20. Okay, now what's wrong with this 3? This 3 is upside down. Did I have it right, or did I just planted it wrong? Oh dear. Oh dear. 4. Maybe it's like we did it wrong. Okay. Where's 2? 2. 3. There we are. Okay. Where are we at? We're at 48 minutes. Okay, let's throw that out. So let us do okay. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. Still a weird looking 7. 7. 8. 9. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, so number 1 is going to be the first number. 1. Let's do it 10. 11. 12. 13, yay. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 10. So I should do them in this 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes! Look at us. Look at us go. And I even like the pink. Okay, there we are. Fine job. Let's get okay. So this is just for the purposes of trial. So I do all that, blah, 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 and then I put one like that. Because there's a gust, so let's actually get a candy. The smell of chocolate is going to hit me like anything. Oh, look at that. Oh. Okay, so let's say we have a green candy. Plunk that in there. We do that. We do that. We seal that. Whoops. So the hole, if I have one, should go there. Or there. That would be better. Okay. Oh, heavens to Murgatroyd. So, next time we meet, I will have these in some kind of color order. I will have these in whatever order they need to go in. Probably some more of them eaten. But we're making progress, because all I need to do is make one of these, and then I need to make some other things, but let's focus on this first. Anyways, that is all for now. Please take very good care of yourself. Stay out of trouble. Always love you lots, and we'll see you soon. Bye now.